Good morning. It is March 18th and it is 11 a.m. and we are on day 59. Um, yes, the plan is today I'm only going to plan on getting to a place I was calling Rockgia. It's not Rockgia. I think it's pronounced Saxia, Saxia or something like that. The R makes a Z sound. And the G makes a G sound unless it's a combination of the G and the I together, then it makes a Z sound also. So it's a saxia. I'm trying to learn these things as I go along, but each time you had to Google, investigate into how to pronounce it, and so I'm going to continue butchering these words, but at least I learned that one. Um, and it's only 20, I'm looking this all up here. It's only, looks like 32 kilometers away. It's a small jump. I'll get there and I'm going to plan out my route a little more. It looks like there's a possibility of doing a ferry out to an island and then back over to where the border cross is. I think about doing that. I don't know. I'll look into the prices of getting out to the island. It looks like it has some good accommodations for cheap out there on the island, but it would also cut out a big portion of the trip. So I'll figure out when I get there. Other than that, yeah, it's the QL. Looks like the QL 63 meets up with the QL 61, and that takes me over in Saxia. Yeah, so I'll get there and try and figure out what to do. Yesterday was a really nice day of riding, and hopefully just continue with that today. Also, I want to address some of these questions that are slowly coming into me. I don't have a lot of questions coming in, but I figured I'd go ahead and start answering on the videos here in the morning, just because if one person's asking it, then most likely other people are wondering it. So the last question I just had in was from Donjo. Donjo wanted to ask me where I keep my valuables when I'm staying in hostels, because that is a problem. I actually was in Morocco when people had their stuff stolen out of a locker, believe it or not. Someone picked the lock and got into it and stole stuff out of people's wallets and stuff like that, and their cards and stuff. For my valuables, if they have a locker, use it. Also, it's good to bring your own lock, because sometimes they have the locker but not the locks. Even a small deterrent as those locks, you just lock the two little zippers together just so they can't open your bag. That small deterrent actually works too. So it's worth the investment to get one of those locks with a very thin little like wire that's made for locking your zippers together, and also just a small lock for the lockers. But really, I just don't have valuables. The valuables I do have, I can list. It's my passport, my telephone, because all my information's on my telephone, and my camera and my wallet. So those things I carry on my body at all times. Even if I can bring them into the shower, I do. Sometimes, like, that's almost impossible with the camera, just because there's no real safe spot to put the camera with the water going on and all this. So next best thing, locker, or hide it and take the chance that when I jump in the shower and jump back out, someone hasn't found it and stole it. But that's just a risk you're always gonna take, because the people that in Morocco, they had their stuff in the locker and someone still picked the lock and got their stuff. So regardless of how well the only solution is to keep it on your body. I do take a chance with my passport. I have my passport hidden inside my backpack a lot, and they would have to ruffle through my backpack or steal my whole backpack. And they're more into just taking a phone if it's charging, so don't ever do that. Yeah. Then I think I had another question further back. Forgive me if I can't remember, because it was who posted it, but I wrote you back I've been answering each individual question as they come along. He said if I had to start all over again, what would I've done different? And like saddlebags, and I actually looked into the saddlebags, and they don't carry specialty items like that. Almost everything in Vietnam is it's a DIY, a do it yourself. Uh, yeah, it's a DIY. The whole all of Vietnam's that way. They all make their own stuff, and so the side carts and the saddlebags and all this stuff you see, they're all homemade, and they're really well made. They're very ingenious in design and stuff like that. But it also requires you go out to the hardware store, purchase what you need, the wood, the small bit of wood, whatever you need, and make your own. Um, but other than that, as long as you got actually the design that I'm using, just relying on a good backpack frame. If you have a good backpack frame, I have not had any problems with it, and I just put on my the rain fly upside down, meaning it's holding up my straps so the straps don't get down into the spokes and stuff like that and cause me to have a major problem. That's actually been working out fine. And honestly, I don't think I think I would have actually had more problems with the saddlebags because I'd have to take everything out of my backpack and put them in each individual saddlebag. So it worked out. And I know that a few hobos back in the States, they used to get the big 5-gallon, kitty litter boxes and 5-gallon buckets and stuff like that, and and do the same homemade job on the side of their uh, side of their bikes, kind of like you see around here. But I just the backpack's working out perfect. So the other thing I would do is I would take the extra time to. I had something when I was building bicycles. It was called Canis armor that you put on the inside of your tire, so you never have a flat, and they're kind of expensive. I never had a flat when I had those, but all they really are is the insulated pipe wrap. The insulated pipe wrap for the insulated pipe wrap for wrapping pipes and stuff. They're made out of foam. You can get 1-inch insulated foam pipe wrap. Stick that on the inside of your tire. Put the tube on the inside of that and inflate it when it's after you get it back on. The hardest part's getting it back on because it's a little difficult with that foam on the inside now. But that seems like a good hack on the internet. You can see. You can look it up on YouTube, find out about it. But those are the two things. Yeah, and I would have bought the camera earlier. So that's one thing I would have done. Starting my journey with just my phone was cool because you could see my progress from not knowing anything about editing, nothing about camera. I still don't. This is all learning as I go along type thing. But this camera's been, well, I'm just going to say it's been freaking awesome. This thing's awesome, man. I really do appreciate just the clarity, and it's a cool little toy. And I'm very happy I spent the $600, even though that's a big purchase for me. And but in combination with the editing app too, that was another one. I don't think I would enjoy the videos as much without the UCut app. I'm glad I spent the $40 on the lifetime membership. So instead of paying like $10 a month or whatever, I'm a cheapskate when it comes to that. So I'm going on way too long. It's 10 minutes. I'm going to get off. That's a lot of talking, and I'm going to go ahead and put this all in. Hope you guys don't mind it being so long. So let's hit the road.
Chụp lạc một chục 20.000 một bình luận.
Hey guys, I'm just hiding from the sun underneath the bridge and watching the boats go, well, underneath the bridge here. It's about 107, about 15 kilometers outside of Saxia. I'll probably stay there tonight and figure out what I'm going to do, so I'll probably get there early. I probably won't have much of filming to do. The road's just been hot and not much to film on it so far, but I haven't actually gone that far, so yeah, so this video might be just me flapping my lips a whole lot. Another question Dawn actually had about how much I forgot to talk about this morning. Dawn was asking how much I've actually been spending total in like room and board and stuff, room and just food. And on the high side, the most I spend actually on the rooms, as everybody knows, is $10. So even if I stayed each night at a spot and paid $10, which isn't the case because sometimes I'm camping and the majority of times I'm only spending $7 or $8 on a room. So even at $10 on the high side, I'm only spending a total of $300 a month. That's if I stayed in a $10 room every single night. And then when it comes to food, I think I quoted like 15 to 20, which is, I think is double what I actually do spend. Meaning quoted, that's why I actually wrote back to Don in the comment. But yeah, I think I over exaggerated on that one because I don't see myself spending more than 250,000 V&D each day on food. So that realistically puts me down to like the $10 level for food. So that's almost like another $300 in food, and I do actually spend a lot on. Forgot my mic again. I do actually spend a lot on beverages, like caffeinated beverages and stuff, but I still don't see myself spending more than 250,000 BND. So $10 to $15 probably a more safe estimate. So yeah, I'd say $450 in food would be the max that I do spend each week. So about $750 total is what I basically spend each month. So it's cheaper to live outside the United States. It's the quality of living goes up when you're living outside of the United States for the same amount of money that you spend. I love the United States, and the United States is great for traveling around. It's just United States is more about camping. You're not staying in hotel rooms, because the hotel rooms there, the super, the Motel 6s and stuff like that are still $50 a night, and those are the cheap ones. And yeah, so you're usually you're carrying around your own tent and sleeping on this somewhere along the railroads, or far enough usually outside of town to build a fire and get away with it. But anyway, that's just a question. I'll leave it at that, and I'm gonna watch the boats go by a little more here, and then probably head up to Setsia. Well, I'm here in the hostel, but I am the only one here in the hostel. There's no one here to check me in, so it's 3:55 right now. I'm just waiting on someone to show up. I'm assuming they will eventually. Yeah, I don't know what I got this hostel just because it's close to the ferry. I figure I could go check the schedule down there, see what the pricings are like, and contemplating if I want to make a route out to the island and then back. I might not do that. I don't know. It's I'll check. Like I said, I'll check the prices and stuff first. Yeah. So I'm here, but I'm the only one. All right. It's 5:37 right now, so about a half an hour before sunset. And I'm just out at this park here. I try to investigate a little on getting out to the island Fuqua. Fuqua. But it's kind of hard to locate tickets. I guess I'm just going to have to go into it. I mean, I know tickets run about 300,000, so $12, I think, to get out to Fuqua. But yeah, I'm just having a hard time locating tickets of where you actually pick it up, because you don't pick it up at the dock. You pick it up somewhere else. So I'll ask around a little and figure out if I want to do that. But if I do that, it's going to cut out about close to 150, the last 150 of my journey towards the border, because I'd be going out to the island and then over to basically where I'd be crossing. I would actually be taking it back to Ha Tien, which is the town right there on the border of Cambodia. So I got to decide if I want to try and do an island or just go ahead and keep pedaling that last 150, and I'll try and figure that out tonight. But all in all, it was a short day. I didn't make a lot of kilometers, but I more than made up for it yesterday, so I'm way ahead of schedule. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this will be my closing remarks. So I'll say good night, y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow. And nice, beautiful sunset. Well, not yet, but will be.